Hello and welcome to sim.bc. Once again, I've been out all night and just barely woke up right now, so I'm pretty tired again. And I can say that going both to the gym yesterday and going to go out during the night, like in the evening, sure to socialize and to network, but still, it was not the greatest idea ever. Especially since I was tired from yesterday as well, and my bed isn't the best, so I'm kind of tired actually. It's 2:34 right now, and my phone is going off the hook all around the clock, so to speak. We're in so many different groups right now, so even though I wanted to go out to socialize and network, I start to realizing that I probably don't have to, since we're in so many groups now for the kickoff. Oh, and it's so exhausting. You know, it's good and it's funny and all of that, but it's exhausting, as I said yesterday, to really put yourself out there, to try and talk to everybody at the same time. Not at the same time, obviously, but like try and work your way around the room, get a feel for the people, and get to know who actually might need my help and who doesn't, and who is only here for the school, and who maybe wants to start a company, and who wants to do this and who wants to do that. You know, reading the people in the room is a good skill to have, which I unfortunately don't at the moment. I am planning to trying to develop that skill as I work my way through university. I already have. Actually, I was quite shy when I was younger, and I've already worked my way past it. Well, never mind that. It's just that going to the gym and going out at night was not the best idea if you want to be conservative about your energy, which I usually am. So that was a bit much, maybe. And we're probably going to go out tonight too. Let's see how that works out. We're probably going to go out every night for the 2 upcoming weeks because it's the kickoff. And what do? You have to, right? Well, never mind. So I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about consumable and disposable, two very different perspectives on how to watch or how to look at a management team and the workforce. So, for instance, many teams have this consumable and disposable idea on how you should approach your workforce. So, for instance, it's very easy being a boss to feel like you're looking for the best person suited for a job, for instance, right? You want to find someone who can do, let's just make up something. You want to do 500 ducks per hour. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. Just go with it. And you find and you have two different candidates, right? You have someone that can do 504 ducks per hour, and you have someone that can do 450 ducks per hour. Now, what most bosses will do after reviewing their psychological state, so to say, they will take the one that is the best because they're the most efficient one and will yield the highest result for the team. For the business overall, which will later on contribute to the boss getting a bonus if his or her team is doing a good job, dependent on their business structure. Whatever. So they're presented with this choice of different people. So therefore, they're going to take the best one. And in this case, the one that produces 504 ducks per hour is going to be the best one. So obviously, they're going to choose that person. Now, if that person turns out to work over hours or work a lot and hit a wall, so to speak, after a while they might not be able to work anymore. The boss will usually just kick them, fire them. Not always, depends on which country you're in, which social status you have, and how this person is in connection and in relation with the team and with the team effort. But usually, if you can't do your work properly and you have worked too much, the boss can just simply say that I am your team manager and I say that you're not fitted for this position. Which basically is that the boss have consumed a person in this team and now is disposing of this team member And now, because of the simple reason that they have someone else in line that can take up that spot, that position. So now they have to take the person that can do 500, 450 ducks an hour. And this is a problem because if you have this way of, I don't say that everybody does. I just say that in some cases, I might have made it sound generally, but I mean that in some cases this is how it works. Especially we did a well. I should limit. I said that I should say that I have a very limited experience with this, but I did a work about human resource management in China. And since they have such an abundance of people or a workforce, this was a very prominent problem there. So this consumable way of thinking, that you are the boss and you're consuming the workers and then dispose of them because there is a line of succession, there are other people that can take the spot. Now, what problem this presents is that, for instance, if you take the best person for the job because you have this consumable mindset in mind, or this consumable perspective in mind, and you might not reflect on if this person is going to fit into the team the best. So for instance, you might have a team that is made up of very talkative people, and they're perhaps very conservative in their political view, and then you take in someone that is very quiet but very liberal in their political view. I don't say that you should think about politics and you shouldn't discriminate, but in some case you need to think about what is more effective for the workforce, what is going to be most efficient, how are you going to make the everyday life of your workers the best, and make your team present the best as they can, like make them produce the best as they can at the best of their abilities. And if you want to do this, you have to think about more than just how people and workers consume, how you consume workers. You need to think about more perspectives. Now, anyway, that's a topic for another time. But if you, so to say, have consumed a worker and you want to dispose of them, now it creates an uneasy feeling for the people in the management team. So, for instance, if you feel like for example, if you feel like you're in the team and someone is coming in, I know that it's usually first in, first out. No, I mean, sorry, first in, last out. So if you're in a team and you see someone getting consumed and disposed of, you might get uneased because you think that you're next. And if the boss can make this adjustment to a person that easily, then your position at the workplace might not be that secure. Now, that's a problem. It exists, and my view of solving it really fast and not making a video entirely made about that is basically look for who is the best, not who is the best at what they do necessarily. Of course, they have to be good at what they do. You can't just get anyone in there. You can't just hire anyone. Just because they fit the team, they have to be good at what they do too. But you might not necessarily have to take the one that's best at their job at what they do, but mainly take the person who fits best with the workforce. Usually that's the person who fits in best with the ideal profile of what a worker should be like at that company, because usually a team is built around a sufficient and efficient team in a workplace is built around what the vision of the company is. But basically, take the person who fits into the management team the best, not just the person who is the best at what they do. That would be my short and not very refined answer to that problem. Now, this way of consumable and disposable way of handling things was taken up by Jack Gleason over at the Oxford Union channel. It's, for those of you who don't know, he played Joffrey in Game of Thrones, and then he ended his acting career. He talks about it all very well, and he's talking about this modern way of looking at celebrities, and he's taking up this consumable and disposable way of thinking. He might not have gone into it in the same way as I did. I put my own spin on it, but I totally recommend that you go over there and watch it, because it's a really great video, and he's holding his own little speech about how it is being a celebrity in the modern day, the way you get broken down as an image, and the way that you get simplified by the general public. And I would say that management team leaders, even though I'm kind of criticizing them right now about the way that consumable and disposable ways of thinking all management leaders are like small celebrities, that they are getting broken down in that sense, and they're getting simplified because it's easier to manage a leader that has only one perspective rather than many in just one layer. I might talk more about this interview of his in another video because I feel like it's really interesting and he takes up very good and many valid points that are good to discuss. So I'm going to leave a link about that in the description of the video. And until then, have a nice day, guys, and I'll see you next time.